So remember how I told you guys I have a TikTok friend on here. I don't know her in real life, but she's my TikTok friend. And she made a video critiquing Cardi B being fat phobic. And Cardi B commented underneath her video. And I responded to Cardi B's comment. It was a bit disrespectful and I deleted the comment. And then ever since then, it seems like Cardi B's been trolling me, right? Now, there's something particularly interesting about this troll account, okay? Because the name along with this picture, I'm not going to incriminate myself, but this is quite interesting that they did this, right? So since she's clearly dog whistling me that she's working with the feds, because even in my school, I go to John Jay, right? It's an NYPD FBI school, okay? And my professor, I think 2 weeks ago, said that over the weekend he was at a party with Cardi B. He told it in front of the whole class. So I have witnesses that heard this man say this. So I'm not making this up. And yes, they did offer me an internship with the FBI, interested in interning with the FBI, right? Okay, so they did offer me an FBI internship, okay? Okay. So since they're dog whistling me with this picture and this name, I'm going to dog whistle right back, okay? Since you want to investigate me and work as a criminal informant, because it is odd that you never got incarcerated for drugging and having sex with and tying men up and robbing them. That's literally almost exactly what Bill Cosby did. So I'm confused why the female Bill Cosby never did time. The only explanation for that in the criminal world is you're a snitch. You're a rat, right? That's probably also how you know the guys that are robbing Nicki Minaj, claiming that the men Nicki lets into her home aren't her friends. Well, Kenneth is an ex-con, meaning he will constantly be surveillanced by the FBI for the rest of his life because he's a criminal, right? Like, you're on a list, they watch you forever. That never goes away. You're on the S offender list on top of the fact. Well, you're supposed to be. So at first I'm thinking she might know the guy's robbing her, but no, you're a Fed. So obviously you would have that type of information, right? And I wonder what Star Brim, who did time for you, who you were clearly using as your bodyguard and for clout and to make yourself look more street and so you could rep blood and act like a gangster, I wonder what she thinks about you working with the feds, right? Because this is what the government does when you become a threat to the government, like myself, or like how people like Malcolm X or Martin Luther King were, right? If they can't unalive you, they will try to incarcerate you or send you to the psych ward or make you self-delete. But they want you to shut the fuck up. They've been wanting me to shut the fuck up for years. And that's why when I drove to the Pentagon, they did everything in their power to try to incapacitate me and unalive me by giving me Haldol, which is actually a banned antipsychotic that is fatal and can unalive you. But I digress. So America, on the plantation of America, they will use their house slaves, and a lot of them will be Hispanic and white. This is why they use Hispanics and whites and mixed people to create more division. They've done this historically since slavery. Okay, they give some of them money and fame and fortune and benefits and say, oh, we're not going to give you jail time, but you got to work for us, right? Like Snoop Dogg said, I'll give you 20 G's if you snitch on your homie, right? We'll put you in a home and make your house plush. Oh yeah, but you gotta, right? So, okay, because there's only one way you're not doing time for that. See, me, I never actually robbed anyone. I joke around and say I robbed them, but the truth of the matter is, I was on dating apps and they sent me money. I never met up with them. I never tied anyone up. I never drugged anyone. I never assaulted anyone. I never essayed anyone, okay? I never did that. There's nothing illegal about men sending you money over the internet. They're choosing to do it. That's why Catfish is a show. That's why Catfish is a show, right? Those people just got scammed and embarrassed. Like, you sent money to someone that you thought you loved or that you were going to meet, right? There's a whole show called Catfish. Like, just be smarter. It's not really illegal for you to send me money through the internet. You're choosing to do it. There's nothing I can do about that, right? But aggravated assault and kidnapping and drugging someone, like, these are things, obviously, like aggravated robbery, if you will. This is like, that's actually a crime you have to go to prison for. You know what I mean? Like, that's actually a real crime. So it is weird that you're not doing time for that. Can Cardi B be prosecuted? Well, if she's working with the feds, no, she has immunity, okay? Cardi B admits to this, right? And it is true, it is actually similar to Bill Cosby. It is interesting. And usually it indicates you're a fucking rat. You're a rat, right? And you're working with the enemy, the slave master. You're working with massa to take down political opponents. This is political. This is political. And you can't handle criticism from a stranger on the internet, then you shouldn't be a celebrity. And this is exactly why she lashed out at Nicki. You can't handle being a celebrity if you're going to lash out and spiral every time someone says something to you. I literally live off $1,400 a month. You are rich and famous. Why are you working with NYPD and FBI to try to find information and investigate me to get me incarcerated? I'll be damned if the female Bill Cosby is trying to send me to prison. You got me fucked up, bitch. And since we dog whistling, right? We dog whistling, since you want to put that picture and that name on that fake profile. Yeah, since we dog whistling. And you know, this is why I say all these rich people are the same, because they want to protect their wealth too. You know what you should do instead of arguing with Nicki Minaj? Why don't you try to donate and raise money and awareness for people in Congo and people in Sudan, right? Why don't you use your platform for something positive? Why don't you speak about the maternal mortality rate? Why don't you speak about this country sliding into fascism? Instead of abusing your power like you're some fucking mob boss to take out your enemies like this is power, right? Like, remember Ghost in Power snitched on Kanan, right? 50 Cent in the show to get him out the way to kill the competition. I am not your competition. I'm a poor bitch. I live on disability. I do not have money and power. And you ain't nobody to be trying to get me locked up. You working with the feds to try to get me locked up, to get me out the way, to help them take out their political opponents so they can shut me up and lock me up. You working for the man. And so don't you ever rep that flag. Don't you ever act like you street, because you nothing more than a female 6'9", right? You just another one of them. Exactly the same. These celebrities are the same. They choose to sell out and be house slaves and work with the enemy to sell out their own fucking people. Because of course the government wants to get rid of me. Of course the government doesn't like me, right? They don't like me telling on them and exposing them and saying the things I'm saying. And so you'll work with them against me, all because what, you mad about what I said about Offset? Bitch, are you for real? How are you a celebrity and you're rich and famous and you can't handle criticism from strangers? I don't even know you. You don't even know me. We don't even know each other. Oh, because what I said about your friend Star Brim, you nothing more than another Ice Spice, right? How Ice Spice comes. And let's talk about how your entire presence and existence in the music game is a contribution to the erasure of black female rappers and colorism in music, right? Just like how Ice Spice used Cleo, you used Star Brim, right? And y'all used Nicki Minaj. Y'all got close to Nicki, used her for the come up, and then turned on her. Okay? I can see right through that shit. This is why Doechii doesn't get as much credit and flowers anymore. Back in the day, the rap game was dominated by black female rappers. Now today, that's hardly the case. Look how they treat Meg, look how they treat Nicki, but look how they treat Ice Spice and Cardi B. And Ice Spice has no fucking talent. It's like the rap game is mainly just about being light-skinned and Latina and looking good with a fatty, being a sex doll, and your entire image, you are a pawn and a jester in the village being used to promote patriarchy. Your entire persona is not being used for anything positive. You're being used as a minstrel show. You're literally a caricature being used by massa. And of course the government wants to lock me up, right? They want to get rid of me when they can't unalive you, because they even took out Charlie Kirk. If they can take out a rich, white, Christian nationalist man who's a conservative, if they can get rid of him, that's a message saying they can get rid of anybody. None of us are safe. He's literally a rich, Christian nationalist, far-right, white man. That's the top of the food chain in this country. So if they can get rid of him, they're basically saying kiss the ring or you can go. So obviously I'm a nobody. But I'm not the only one, okay? I'm not the only one they want to get out the way. But it's crazy that Cardi B's going to work with the enemy to try to get me out the way because you're in your feelings about what a stranger said on the internet to you. You really can't handle criticism from strangers? Then maybe you shouldn't be rich and famous. Maybe this is not the position for you. The fact that you have to go out your way to harass and try to investigate and put me in jail. Are you dead ass right now?